What's going on, everybody? It is TripleCrown24 back today with a new card show recap video. This one is for the Louisville card show down in, well, Louisville, Kentucky. One of several Louisville card shows. This one is put on by J&J. They are promoters, probably best known at this point for Midwest Monster, which is a pretty big regional show here in the Midwest, out in Northeast Indianapolis area. Specifically in Fishers, Indiana. That's the other show that they host, and they've expanded to this Louisville show. So I've been to the Fishers show. Of course, I've been to Midwest Monster. I've never done this one before, and all the shows that I was potentially looking at this weekend were all ones that it would be my first time on the Saturday side of things. So I decided to give this one a shot. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Did a little bit of everything at the show. So we go ahead and show off my pickups, shall we? 3 slabs, and I'm going to show this one first because it will help tell the story of the final pickup that I'm going to show you. But it is a 1997 Metal Universe, Ken Griffey Jr., Blast Furnace, PSA 10. And whenever I see a Metal Universe card in a 10, I kind of stop and pause, because if you've ever owned one, it could be one of the original ones from back in the day, or perhaps like the Fleer Retro PMGs that you see, or even the new Metal Universe Champions. Whatever the case may be, these things are so sensitive. So to get a 10 on one of these cards is just, you got to have a lot of things go right. So I saw this Griffey. The sticker at first jumped out to me, where I said, wow, that seems kind of cheap. I tried to negotiate a little bit with the dealer. We went back and forth a bit, and we settled on a price in the middle of the sticker and my original offer. So I was happy with that. And then I was actually digging through their value box. I found a couple of cards from my friend Saul BD Kane 721 here on YouTube, and decided that I was going to set them aside to see if he needed them. So I sent him a picture, and then I saw another card in the case that had caught my eye that I was interested in, and the sticker was at a starting point where I'm like, okay, there's going to be, I needed to make some negotiations on this card. Didn't make a deal right away. It was the first table I had stopped at, so I'm like, let me make sure I check everything out, and then I'll come back. So that's how it started. I kept going around, and I found a value box. It actually had some Pokemon in it. There was a decent amount of Pokemon at this show. Nothing that I jumped on. I just kind of took it all in and tried to learn more about it, just because I'm not very well versed in it. The best I can tell you is the characters that I grew up with, or just checking eBay comps. Essentially, that's my knowledge of it to this point in time. So unless I can add, more to it, a lot of it right now is just kind of looking, listening, observing. But they had a value box that was marked as 40% off of sticker price. So this whole stack was 25. It got chopped down to 15, and I didn't really notice it at first. I was okay with the sticker prices on all of these, but to get it all for 15 made it even better. So little Vince Carter here. This card is really popular. I don't know if it still is, but when Prism first came out, this Vince Carter base and all of its parallels were very popular, selling for pretty crazy amounts, in my opinion. But he does have a good following. I do like picking up Vinsanity stuff. Here is a Leaf Get a Grip. It's Barry Bonds with Mike Mussina, numbered to 3,500. Anytime I see like numbered Bonds stuff, shout out to Nate, shout out to all the Bonds guys out there. I pick them up just because it's not always easy to locate them. Here's one Inside the Numbers. Also, that one's numbered to 2002. And then a Miles Turner, the ever rumored to be traded Miles Turner out of Noir, numbered to 49. These Noir cards, they're just so clean looking. On-card autographs and just really nice looking cards. So I figured the whole stack for $15. I was happy with it. Some of those might go to COMC, some of them might go elsewhere. We'll see on those. So that was that. Did try to go around and do some trading. There was actually a card that I pulled out of a box. I want to show it off. This wasn't a pickup at the show. This is one that I had pulled from a box. It's an O'Neal Cruz autograph, or RPA out of 2 from the new Panini 3 and 2. I opened a box of this just because I like the Panini 1 and the Panini 1-in-1 singles for football and basketball respectively. So I opened up one box, I pulled that card, and that was it. So I did try to shop that one around. I didn't get anybody who was too interested in it, so oh well. What are you going to do? But yeah, so there was another dealer there who was able to work out a trade on. I've recently acquired a Clyde Drexler. There's a little something on there. I'll have to take it out of the sleeve. But yeah, I had a Clyde Drexler patch auto from Obsidian that I liked it a lot. It was a game-worn patch, and it was a nice chunky patch, like an actual one, not one of those like one-color swatches that people call patches. But when I saw this Morant, I thought, oh, you know what? I do like these Prism flashbacks. I do like the silver versions of them a lot. So, and Morant is a guy who I've been looking at the past couple of weeks solely for the fact that I'm going to the Nashville show. Nashville and Memphis aren't exactly super close to one another, but there are a lot of Grizzlies fans, or at least there were the last time I did the Nashville show. So I wanted to try to get a few Titans or Grizzlies cards in hand for that show. So I saw this one. I was able to work out a trade, got some cash on my end, because I gave up another larger card. It was a Joe Burrow RPA. So got the cash, gave up the Clyde Drexler, was able to get this Morant. So it was cool. He put up 49 last night, as of the time I'm recording this. So I went back to the guy who had these. These are from my buddy Saul BD Kane 721. So I'll let him talk about those. Usually whenever I pick something up, and I like to let whoever I'm picking them up for talk about them. And I have another card for him here that I'll let him discuss once he gets it in hand. But I was talking to them, and again, it's this card that is in front of me down here that is kind of going back and forth with him a bit. He told me what his absolute bottom dollar was. This is a guy I've done business with before at the Midwest Monster. Great guy to just chat with, both him and his partner that sets up with him there, and was really close on a number. I said I want to do one more lap, and then I'll make the decision. I told him regardless, I will make sure I come back before I leave, and I meant it too. It took me longer to get back there than I thought it would, but I was just really interested in that card. So I do my lap around, and I go to the other side of the room where I see a table that it's one of those tables where everything is the same price on this table. And I chatted with this dealer for quite a bit. He had some very tempting cards on the table, and someone just came in like minutes before and like scooped up like all the Justin Herberts that he had laid out on this table. So apparently he had some hot ticket items on his little value table. But I did pick up these 7 cards. They were all $5 each. Here's a Peyton Manning Sepia Refractor numbered to 99. Whenever I get some of these mid-2010s or earlier Topps Chrome Refractors and I don't take them out of the sleeve, my big hope, if I don't check them beforehand, is that they are not scratched beyond belief. You would not believe how many times I find cards like this, any kind of refractor from this time period, where the cards just, it looks like someone played shuffleboard with them. So I always get nervous with that, especially if it's a higher price point. If it's 10 cents a card, I don't care as much. If it's $5 a card, then I pay a bit more attention. And thankfully, this one doesn't have those issues, so that was nice. These two are actually in incredible shape for because they have a lot of the same issue, or at least when I come across them. Griffey and Jeter, White Sox Griffey at that. These are both numbered to 1960. It's 2009 Topps Heritage, I believe. So it's cool. I didn't even notice Griffey was with the White Sox there. That's kind of neat. A couple of Goldschmidt rookies. I figured why not? 3 of them actually. Oh, maybe a triple. And then Altuve rookie as well for $5. You know, go ahead and take a flyer on that. even though he is having a very rough start to the postseason at the time of recording. So those were actually bundled together with this stack, and this is the first time I've seen this outside of the Newport show that I do, or I guess now the Florence show. It used to be in Newport. That's one of the local shows here that I like setting up at, and it was loose packs in a value box, and this guy had a whole box of packs, and he gave me, I asked him, let's just kind of going through here. He approached me with like, hey, if you want to buy the whole box, I'll cut you a deal. And he gave me a number. It was a number that was much lower than what I was expecting. Very tempting, but I decided no, I don't want to spend that much right now because I was still thinking about the card that you'll see here in a moment. So I decided I'm just going to pick out the packs that I wanted. And I ended up getting all of these for $2 a pack. I gave one of them away, just one of the kids that I saw there. So there's that. But I got two of these 2018 Donruss packs, Donruss football. Some of these absolute football, I think these are retails. So Josh Allen rookie year, Lamar Jackson rookie year. And then this is actually a product that only has a few cards per pack. It's WWF, I guess, Legends 2017. And this is a hobby pack. So you can pull autographs out of here. I was looking at the here, Legend autograph 1 in 12 packs. And I mean, for $2, if there's like an Undertaker autograph in there, sure, why not? I'll go ahead and take a shot at that. So that was one of the more obscure ones I picked up. Ticket to Stardom, another hobby exclusive. I like this one a lot. I like how on the cover of the pack it says Topps exclusive spokesman, David Wright. I just think it's interesting verbiage there. So hobby pack there. And then these, I believe, are all just regular retail packs because I got these little things on them. But I have 7 2008 Topps Update, which we were looking for Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw in there. So I'm going to do a separate video opening up those packs. But what I am going to do is I'm only going to open up these because I'm going to do a giveaway for these two 2018 football packs. I saw one get open. There wasn't anything in it. And that was the one I gave away. But these two, I'm going to give away here on the channel. So in order to enter that, I mean, you listened to me babble for 12 minutes about my pickups. So I guess that was phase 1 of trying to win these packs. But give me a comment down below telling me what has been your favorite card show pickup of 2022 if you've been to one. And if you haven't been to one, what's something that you want to pick up at the next show that you go to? All you have to do is comment that down below, and I ask that you have a valid U.S. shipping address, and I'll send these out to you. I will have this go until Friday. So Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll cut it off, and then when I get back from the Nashville show, I'll pick a winner for those. So if you're interested in those, you'll have to follow those instructions to enter the giveaway. All right, last card. Let's just go ahead and show it off. No messing around here. 1957 Topps Brooks Robinson PSA 3 rookie. This card is absolutely stunning. This is one of the nicest examples of the Brooks Robinson rookie I have ever seen in any grade. Just incredible centering. I never see these this well centered. The corners, they're not razor sharp. It's a 3 for a reason, but boy, oh boy, it's the common thing I see nowadays. People always say that PSA has become tougher over the years, particularly with the vintage. And my observations is that it always seems like the ones that I feel are the most undergraded or present themselves the best are the ones that have the lighthouse holder with the newer cert numbers on them. And I don't know. I just feel like this would be something that's more of a 4 or a 5 back in if this was graded 5 years ago rather than this year or last year. So maybe that's just me, but I absolutely love this card. So I came back for it. This was the last one. The dealer was packing up, and he kept it out for me. I came back as I told him I would, made one last counter offer, and he held firm at his price. I agreed to it. I mean, it was a very fair price. Um, it's one of those that, again, I say this a lot on the channel, that I'm gonna want the king's ransom for it, basically. If I get that number, great. If not, I really don't mind holding this. I mean, Brooks is getting up there in age. Typically, these things, we saw it with Bruce Sutter not too long ago. Once these guys pass away, a lot of these prices just go absurd. It seems that I've just seen it happen too many times with Frank Robinson and Hank Aaron and all the great legends that we've unfortunately lost over the past few years. So I thought to myself, if I wanted to get a nice Brooks Robinson that hopefully I can hold on to for a while, unless again I get that crazy offer for it, then it will be decision time at that point. But I figured now was the best time to go for it. So again, I appreciate everyone who worked with me on this show. There's a lot of good conversation, even when I didn't work out deals with people. It was a fun show environment. So let me tell you about the show. The show floor recap. I know I don't have my little transitions in there, but I thought that the show floor was very basketball heavy, and then for football, a lot of focus on the quarterbacks. Specifically with basketball, it was a lot of the local interests. So it's in Louisville alumni. So a guy like Donovan Mitchell was very popular. And then in terms of UK guys, you see quite a bit of Booker stuff, quite a bit of Maxey stuff. Anthony Davis to some extent, not as much as Anthony Davis, I would say, but you see a John Wall every now and then. The staples of Louisville and Kentucky basketball over the last 10, 15 years or so, all those guys pretty popular down there. Those are the guys that people typically ask about in that area. Today, not as much. I didn't hear much about it. I think the name of the game today was more so speculative. Probably the most speculation-driven show that I've been to in quite some time. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people were looking for good buy low opportunities. There were a lot of people interested in Zion stuff, just because there's a lot of people thinking Zion's going to have a big year. I hope he does. I think it's good for the hobby if Zion has a big year, and he's faced a lot of criticism and had to live up to some pretty unrealistic expectations. So I hope the best for him in that regard, and hey, it would be a win for the hobby too. Also, in the same vein, the quarterbacks that people felt were undervalued. So Mahomes, a lot of people feel are undervalued. Joe Burrow was one that people felt were undervalued. And there wasn't as much interest in Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, kind of those guys who are still up near their peak values. I will tell you right now that there's not much buying low going on a guy like Trey Lance, and definitely not on Mac Jones. It was those guys seem to be largely absent in terms of people asking for them, and also what people had out there. Was just not that much of it available. So I don't know if a lot of people have just decided to take that stuff and stash it for another day, or what the deal is on that. But I wasn't seeing it there, let me tell you. So that was kind of what I was seeing on the show floor. I'll wrap it up with something I liked, something I didn't like, and something I liked. Go ahead and end the show. On the Brooks Robinson deal, I got a donut to go along with it. Talk about literally sweetening the deal, so that was nice. It held me over to get home, so I didn't have to stop and get lunch somewhere. So that was much appreciated, and it was a good donut. So yeah, that's always a plus, right? Who doesn't like a nice donut to go with their card purchase? So there was that. Something I didn't like. This is this is kind of funny, and it's nobody's fault but my own, because I decided to take a chance on this. It probably took me like 20 minutes to leave the venue. And the reason for that is because I was parked in a very weird parking spot. It was in a corner where you theoretically could be boxed in if someone didn't park, if they thought that there was a spot there that wasn't actually a spot. Thankfully, no one did, but it was still very difficult to kind of maneuver my way out from that spot. So it took me a while. There was a guy who came out who was kind of watching for me to make sure I didn't hit anybody. And thankfully, I got out of there. No vehicles or no people were damaged in me backing out of that spot. But I gotta tell you, when I was tired and trying to leave the show, the last thing you want to do is be stuck in the parking lot. So I should have just found another spot and walked a little bit more. I decided to take the chance, and I guess it paid off. But it was an interesting experience trying to get out of there. Something that I like to go ahead and wrap up the show today. Boy, there's a lot of things that I could choose out there. I think that people were more so. I heard the C word a lot today, comps, and that feels like every show. There's a lot of people who are constantly looking at comps. I mean, I do it too, but I think that there is, or at least today, there was a lot more understanding that like one comp doesn't rule at all, or at least that was my impression. Because a lot of the cards that I have, I don't really do too much of like the base Prism stuff. Do I get those cards? Yeah, every now and then I have one lying around. Like I had a Luca base Prism and with me today that I was taking around. And on that kind of stuff, when there's a lot of data points, I think it's very useful. But when you have cards that are a bit more obscure, where there's only one or two sales, and it's difficult to just solely rely on that, or at least that's my opinion. And I think a lot of people were in the same mindset as me. Perhaps I'm the one who's in the wrong for that, but that's always the way that I viewed it. Is that it's for me, it's always more about what is currently available. Yes, I think that those previous sales do provide good context, and perhaps a good idea of what you could possibly receive, but really it just depends on what you got going on right now. So, yeah, I felt like there was more understanding with that. So that was cool. I did enjoy that. All right, that is it for today. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Let me know what you think down below. Again, the giveaway will end on Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, and then I will do the drawing while I'm in Nashville, or perhaps I'll do it when I get back. So thanks again, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Be kind.